These 5 tools have helped us save money, time, and our back. And our employees are extremely happy for the tools. If you don't know me by now, my name is Eddie. I own a $2 million business here in Dallas, Texas. Along with my business partner, Xavier, we made over $7 million in business revenue. Today, I'm gonna show you the top 5 tools that we use for our rental business. And stay until the end to see how these tools can help you guys. For more information, download our detailed list below for these 5 tools. All right, guys, you know that good old saying, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger? That's true to an extent. Before we had all these tools that we're about to go over. We used to do things the good old fashioned way, straight muscle and willpower. And trust me, in the event rental industry, you're gonna need a lot of willpower because when you don't have the tools, it's you versus the weight and also the day, because if we had these tools earlier on, we could have got the jobs done a lot faster, more efficiently, and my wife wouldn't be complaining at night. Now we got the tools and yeah, we're good to go now. But my body has a story to tell you guys. When we first started off, me and Xavier, we had a lot of work to do, and budget was very, very slim, and so we didn't really have the tools that we needed like we do today. A lot of things, my back would always be hurting, or my knees or my wrists, and actually the wrist problem is really bad now. I got I guess carpal tunnel or whatever, because when I grab things, I tend to bend my wrists, kind of cup it so it doesn't fall. And over 6 years of time, or however many years I've been doing this, it's basically giving me aches in my hands, if I do too much work. But yeah, so basically, if you don't want your body to hurt and ache, get some tools, that way you don't have the issues. Yeah, one of the things when we started realizing hey, tools are needed is when we're getting big jobs. When I mean big jobs, I'm talking about 500 chair orders. We had a order for I guess the NFL, where they're doing signing and they need tables, and all our tables came back with signatures on them, so it was kind of cool and kind of annoying at the same time. And then also when we got bigger tents, when we moved up to the 40 wides, and we're doing 40 by 80s or 40 by 120s by hand. And I know you're probably thinking by hand, that's impossible, guys. It was possible. We just had 5 guys, and everyone's ready, 1, 2, 3, and then and I'm over here thinking in my mind, it was am I the only one pushing? Because I feel you guys aren't really pushing, because when you do one side, everyone has energy, but when you get to the middle or to the end, everyone's blown out, and but it's a great workout, if you like heavy lifting, but the human body can only take so much. So yeah, when we started getting heavier loads, we started realizing that, hey, this isn't gonna last very long if all we have is our bodies to use for the tools.
Now, if you need more help in your rental business, please click the link below for our free ultimate checklist showing you how to start and run your rental business.
So the first item on our list is our tent jacks. So these tent jacks are specifically from Salina. We originally went through a whole list of different tent jacks, and as mentioned before, we were very budget friendly, and we said, well, what's our biggest bang for our buck? So Salina was a grand winner on that. I think they came around $550, $600, something like that. But look it up. I'm not too sure at the time. That's around what we paid for, and it really helped out as far as efficiency on lifting the tents. Originally, we only had 1, and eventually we figured out that we need 2 to grab on each side and move down, the 40 wides. But yeah, eventually we now have 4, and we're going to be looking into buying a different style of tent jack. They work very well. The only issue, like I said, that I don't like about the specific one is just the wire, and sometimes it gets kinked up, and sometimes it's a little sketchy. And that's why I'm wearing my hard hat. When we pick up the tents, we have our PPE gear on so everybody can see us, hard hats, because poles are flying, and I've had tent jacks fall as well, so sketchy situation. But as long as you have something like this, it's really going to help your back out. You don't have to have 5 guys. This is basically 5 guys in one. You need 2 guys to operate 2 tent jacks, but other than that, it's really cut down on the labor costs and also on the back injuries, to say the least. There was a couple options. So one thing where I was kind of thinking of doing is using the actual skeleton of this tent jack and putting an electrical winch on here. That way, and then just put a battery at the base. And you know, this is what I was thinking, and maybe I'll make another video for that where I make this little Frankenstein of a tent jack, and it'll be like multi-functional where it can pull like pole tent center poles, and then it also can lift up like frame tents and stuff like that. But it's still, you know, in the works. Either that, or I was gonna think about maybe buying, Aztec has one that I really like, and I think they have like the strap kind of style, which is great because when these frays and you grab it by your hand, it like pokes you every single time. So I have a whole bunch of pokes in my hand because of that. But yeah, that's the one that we're kind of looking at, the Aztec one. It looks like a pretty good product. But I'm not saying this is a horrible product, but you know, when you're first starting off and you're budget friendly, then it's something that you really wanna. Better this than nothing for sure. All right, second on our list is our good old forklift. Now this one is a, I guess like a third wheel, so it fits in very tight spots, and it's electric. So all we do is charge it. I think we spent around like 5,500, somewhere around 6,000. And at the time, we actually probably bought it prematurely. We had a smaller warehouse than this one, but once we got a warehouse like this size, Xavier was like, oh yeah. Before it was like a paperweight, but now this thing is like the essential to get the jobs done. And then also, if this thing ever goes down, I know everybody in the warehouse would be basically crying because this thing is basically our workhorse. It lifts so much products every day. Like we're offloading and loading thousands and thousands of chairs and tables and cement blocks, you name it. This thing does it all. We haven't given it a name yet. We probably should, since it's such a good employee. But yeah, a forklift is a must, especially whenever you dealing with like bigger events. If you have a load trailer, you can put the forklift there and take it on site. That way you can get the work done there as well if you do need a forklift. But otherwise, it's just a good overall good old tool that's basically gonna save your whole team on time, money, and also, you know, their backs and their knees. And then also to point out is, you know, if you have uprights in your warehouse or wherever you're at, there's literally no other way to get the items down when they're on pallets. So you're gonna need a forklift. But we're probably gonna, now that I think about it, we probably need to buy another one, like as a plan B, because this thing goes down and we need something up high. We're probably gonna have to climb up there and like do some crazy Spider-Man stuff. But yeah, get yourself a forklift when you get there. So the next item on our list would be a flatbed trailer, okay? And I know you guys are probably like, flatbed trailer? And the reason why I made our list is because the flexibility of this item, we like it a lot. I know some of the other companies, they have like a flatbed truck, but we just like the trailer option. And the reason being, because like we can disconnect, you know, park it, and we can use the truck for doing other items, other jobs, you know, whether they're small or, you know, pretty much anything. It's just more versatile in our eyes versus the flatbed truck. You know, it's pretty much just a flatbed truck. You can't really do nothing more or less with that. Sometimes I just need to be on site with the truck, and you know, we can disconnect the truck from the trailers. But anyways, yeah, the flatbed trailer. And then specifically what I like is a deck over trailer. So on the deck over trailer, basically you're gonna have the wheels, and then the top, like where the stuff goes on, is actually underneath the wheels. So like, I know it's like we have utility trailers in the past, and the problem with that is like we can't use a forklift on them, and we have to do a lot of things by hand, and that's one thing that we hate. With this one here, we can like load up cement blocks with the forklift. We can load up tables, chairs. So sometimes we'll go to job sites that have a forklift. We'll just use this bad boy, or if we're transporting cement blocks, we like to use this. And also when we're transporting our mini skid steer, we'll use this trailer here. That way we can get all the items where they need to be. But it's very versatile. It gets the job done. And then on top of that, you can also, is a plus, you can also use this as a stage. You can use this as I guess an addition on a stage. So all you have to do is add on to the deck over, like in the front. So if you have stage pieces, you can put like your 4x8s or your 4x4. You just gotta get the legs to a certain height. And then, yeah, you can carpet it, do whatever you want to do to make it look pretty. But yeah, it's very versatile, also like in rental, and then what it provides as far as transportation. This specific trailer, we bought it for, I believe it was $8,000, brand new. We got it in East Texas. There's a vendor here in Cleburne, Texas, that sent us directly to the distributor. So we picked it up over there, and it's funny, we actually bought the trailer and then literally put it right to work the next day. I think a while back we did an order for, I think it was like 2,000 or something like that, black folding chairs for a Chicago job. And this is the trailer that I used to transport it all the way over there to Chicago from Texas. Then also bring it from Chicago all the way back. Like I said, it could take a lot of weight, and these are used for like heavy equipment. So they have these ramps. If you ever, like I said, if you ever need to transport like a forklift, the forklift can get on here no problem. If you need like a 10-ox offers like a heavy equipment loader. You can use this as well. There's just many different options that this trailer can really be used on, and it helps out as far as time efficiency. And like I said, you can also rent it out for like a stage.
Are you a rental business that needs a website or a software? Well, we have Rent More Pro. This is an all-in-one rental store that helps you manage things from your inventory, your contracts, and even your drivers. On top of that, it has automatic quoting and automatic invoicing to save your time and money. If you're interested in this, please click the link below for a free demo today.
This is our mini skid steer. It is used for many good things that our backs and our knees don't want to do. Mainly for moving like cement blocks. A lot of times you'll get big tents on asphalt or cement where we can't drill, and this bad boy does all the moving for us. So I had mentioned earlier we have a flatbed trailer deck over, and this is what we use to take all the cement blocks off. We still sometimes, if it's like maybe 4 cement blocks, I'll do it by hand with my truck with the lift gate. But otherwise, we're using this bad boy to get everything off. And also we use this, sometimes we have attachments. We actually have forks just like the forklift, and we'll use this to move like tables and chairs and stuff like that. But one thing that we kind of find is if it's really heavy, basically the counterbalance is your weight that's in the back. So if it's heavier than you in the backside, then you're gonna kind of get tippy. So yeah, that's no good. This thing can also be used to pull out stakes a lot faster than the the old jack jaws that we have. So yeah, it's very versatile. It helps out as far as efficiency. The bigger version of this, I think, would be actually like a 10-ox. But this is like the economic version that gets your foot, wet, that you don't want to spend like, $75,000, and you can buy this bad boy. I think we got it on Facebook Marketplace. There was a guy that was advertising it for like $4,500 used, and we picked it up for $4,000. I always had to get a good deal, so I knocked him down $500 and got it for $4,000. And ever since then, we've been like kind of using it every time we're putting up tents or anything that's heavy lifting. It only has 85 hours too, so it's fairly pretty new, I think. And I know some of you guys are gonna be like, oh, that's that cheap Chinese one. Yeah, it is, but this bad boy's putting in work, and it's helping our backs out, especially me, since I'm the main person. If you can't tell, there's all the cement blocks. But yeah, in the front, you can change out different attachments. On this one, this is kind of what we use. I think we bought this from Titan Attachments. They sell the front plate with just the plate. Another thing that we're going to use for this is like weld on. There's a piece that Salina makes to push center poles up. We're going to weld something on here. That way we can just use that like kind of like square tubing and that piece in the front, so it kind of has a little bit of distance. But yeah, you can change this out to forks. Here we have actually like a tow hitch, and we just put like a strap on here with a hook, and this is how we pick up our blocks. Or also they have a bucket too. Sometimes if we have the bucket, I'll use that to put like the tent tops to carry the sectionals, and I'll just pile them all in the bucket and drop them off. And it's a quick release. So all you have to do is push this up on both sides, and this attachment comes off, and you can put the next attachment pretty quick. Doesn't take a long time. But yeah, and then also you saw in our video that we use this bad boy because I didn't have a bucket. So I used the actual mini skid steer bucket to mix the cement. So it's multifunctional. This bad boy can be used for anything. Just make sure you have plenty of gas in it because it is thirsty, but it'll get the job done for you. So our last item on our list, and one of my favorites, is the electric jackhammer. Originally we started off with the Amazon, I think it was like a 2-cycle gas engine jackhammer, which was great. But the problem with that one is they were breaking left and right. To compensate for the, I guess the short lifespan of it, we would buy like 4 of them, and they would just keep breaking. And we're like, you know what? We need something more solid that's gonna get the job done. So we bought a electric jackhammer. This was actually from Harbor Freight, and it's a funny story. I don't know, like maybe I have like a special gift that I don't know about, but we got 2 of these for the price of 1. And I know if you follow us, you heard my story before with Salina tents. The same thing happened. I ordered 1 tent and they sent 2. So I don't know, maybe I got some special gift. I get, free items all the time. But anyways, so I ordered the jackhammer from Harbor Freight directly. Then I also ordered this cart. The cart's pretty cool because, you can put your attachments in the back. And the main attachment for when you're using tents are gonna be this piece right here. And this is where you're actually putting it over the stake and hammering it in. This piece we got from Salina. I think it was like $120, something like that. Nothing too bad. And then the actual electric jack, I think it costs us like $500, $400. And it was on, I think it wasn't on clearance, but you know how they Harbor Freight has those like sales. It was on sale. But one thing for sure for you guys that are just starting off, I know everybody starts off with the good old way with the sledgehammer. And this is probably one of our lighter sledgehammers. They get bigger than this. And when you're doing like 48 to like 70 stakes, it can get very daunting just throwing the sledgehammer all day, and then on top of that having to pick up the tent. So this thing really saves you on your back and helps out the whole operation as far as injuries too, because sometimes I've been a lot of close calls that somebody is swinging this and misses the stake and almost like takes out their shin or their foot. And the only thing I would say maybe a disadvantage about this is it weighs about like 65 pounds. So and the stakes are generally like, we'll say like this high. It's actually probably higher, but you have to get that from the ground and lift up and put it right on top of it and then push the button and it'll go down. But other than that, I'd rather do that versus swinging this thing. I think this weekend we had one that was like 48 stakes, and I was saying, man, I'd rather lift this bad boy up than to swing this like multiple times on one stake. And then the worst part is when you miss on a stake. You put in like all your force, you're like, and then you miss totally. You're like, oh man, I just wasted all my energy on that. Get yourself an electrical sledgehammer, or you get a gas one. Maybe we just didn't buy the right one, which I'm pretty sure that was the case. But as you've seen through the whole process of how we've been growing is we're really tight on our budget, so we buy the most cost-friendly items so that we can grow faster. And this has been working very, very well with us. So yeah, can't complain. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. My name's Eddie. I'm with the Rental Boys. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you guys have an item that really helped your team out that maybe I missed on this list, put it in the comment section. Believe it or not, I read it, and I would love to buy something to help my guys out. And yeah, so we'll see you to the next one. Bye.